Hello students, good morning. I am Dr. Sitaram Bhargav, Associate Professor, Department of English. Today I am going to teach you a very important lesson. The name of the lesson is Third Thoughts. Third Thoughts is an essay written by E.V. Lucas. E.V. Lucas wrote this essay as an autobiographical essay because this is a this is an essay in the form of a story. How his friend met a person and had a bargaining with the person regarding the picture. I will introduce you first. E.V. Lucas has been considered the greatest prose writer of 20th century. He started his literary career in the 90s and the breakup of the Victorian ideal. His acquaintance with the works of Charles Lamb and Mary Lamb colors his own later essays. Though he started in journalism, he was not essentially a journalist but all-rounder, producing anthologies, essays, guidelines, guidebooks, novels, children's books to meet the needs of a generation. So in the introduction we have seen how he was very influenced by Charles Lamb and his wife regarding the wit and humor in his essays. The theme of the essay. The present essay, Third Thoughts, is down from the Phantom Journal to give its full title in 1990. This essay deals with the various stages of the mind, how he continuously bargained with his soul until he completely won and decided not to give anything to the dealer. First of all, I would like to tell you that there was a bargaining regarding the purchasing of the painting. The person bought a painting and got a very good benefit, but he was very in conflict that he was interested to give some of the benefit to the person from whom he had bought the painting. The narrator tells that the story moves around a person who was usually unlucky in his business matter. According to him, it is my destiny to buy in the dearest market and to sell if I succeeded at all in the cheapest. It means that it was his luck to purchase everything in the cheapest market. But it was a wonder that he had got a successful deal on the following day. We come to know that there runs a series of thoughts how the person bargained with the collection of pictures. He also bargained with his soul. In the essay, the narrator tells that now how he found arguments to quieten his soul and made a final decision that worked a job of satisfaction between buyer and the self. He confesses that his soul was less unselfish and less generous in this respect. In the beginning, he had a feeling of a triumphant at his financial success. Therefore, he decided to share his profit equally with the dealer from whom he bought cheaply a picture that turned out to be Genuine Turner. Turner was the famous painter who painted the picture. So this is important. Having sold for £50 the painting which he had for 10 shillings. So first of all we have to see that the picture cost £50. £50. He was much excited. He thought that the dealer should also get a share out of his good fortune because it was after all the dealer who gave him the picture that he earned the profit of £49 and 10 shillings. He earned the benefit of £49 and 10 shillings. The behavior of the dealer was not bad, but it was only for his fair and nice dealing. He should be given half of the profit. He pondered over the situation again and again. He felt that it would be a matter of quixotic generosity to give him half the profit. Quixote is a reference from the person who was very hasty in his decision, though it was not an awareness of the dealer who had examined the value of the drawing because being genuine traveler. The dealer had failed to know his business, therefore it would be his inaptitude to reward him. He decided to send him a present of £10 at the most. He also felt that it would be an absolute way in this regard. He again started to think about the dealer on the topic. He asked himself. So there was a conflict with his soul whether he would give the benefit, the part of the benefit to the person or not. He asked himself, why send him £10? Is he deserving or not? He thought it would give him a wrong idea about the customers as he would expect all of them to be generous and supporting. That would make him disappointed, embittered, and miserable ultimately. There is no doubt about it that it was a nice old man and would not good to make him unhappy. So he decided that £5 would be enough rather than sending £10 in this matter. Next morning, so we have seen that he wanted to give £10, but he rejected the idea because it would make the person more ambitious, more expectant. Next morning, as he got up as usual, he thought on the matter again and decided to rethink the matter wisely because it seemed him that matter unnecessary and full of foolish generosity. He meditated the matter prudently and decided to send £1 to the dealer. At last, he again found himself in a fix what to do or what not to do. It means he was very confused whether to send how much pounds, 10 or 1. He decided to reduce the amount of the reward with an intention to give with every reconsideration until he decided finally not to give anything at all to him. Now he was very uneasy because according to him it would be an expectation from other customers same type, same way, because it would make him very disappointed if nobody would give him the part of the benefit. He got relieved and consoled himself, saying, buying and selling are a perfectly straightforward matter between dealer and a customer. Buying and selling are a perfectly straightforward matter between dealer and a customer. These lines are very important because these lines indicate his philosophical nature, the nature of the writer as a philosopher. He says that these two things are very, very clear. They are very different, and this happens between the dealer and the seller. According to him, the dealer asks as much as he thinks he can extort, and the customer, having paid it, is under no obligation whatever to the dealer. These two things, buying and selling, take place between the dealer and the customer. After getting shopping or doing bargaining, there remains no relationship between the two, and they have no obligations regarding whatever to the dealer. The incident was closed. He sent no money to the dealer. So thus it is evident that Eutychus he here deals with the internal conflict as if it were a matter of spiritual struggle. The present essay explores and represents the economic selfishness in our modern society. It reminds us Charles Lamb depicting a bargaining in epical epical and poetical grandeur. There is a gentle satire on money making civilization. Thank you, students. I think you will get benefited from the essay.